Talking to voters here on Main Street in Ellensburg, we're finding what we found all over the 8th Congressional District. Voters are passionately divided over the candidates and over this race, but both sides agree it's going to be close.
I wouldn't be surprised that the difference between the two candidates comes down to a few hundred votes, and I wouldn't be surprised if Kittitas County was the differentiator.
Kittitas County chosen as the venue for the first and only debate in Washington's 8th Congressional District. Central Washington University's McConnell Hall packed with supporters of both Republican Dino Rossi and Democrat Kim Schrier.
I've never seen her quite so forceful, and she just seemed very confident about what she was talking about.
Schrier, an Issaquah pediatrician and first-time candidate, played to the Democratic base Tuesday night, attacking Rossi for supporting the Trump administration's tax cuts and efforts to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act. Rossi, meanwhile, played up his experience as a former state lawmaker with deep roots in Washington politics.
Having the advantage of having written a budget for the caucus, the Republican caucus in Olympia, is going to make a big difference for him, I think, back there.
The candidates' debate performances seem to cement support among those whose minds are already made up. Ellensburg, like many other places, appears to be a tale of two cities when it comes to opinions on the party in power and the president.
There's a lot of disappointment with the Trump administration and just broken promises.
He has delivered on everything he said. Every reason we elected that man, he's delivered. And I gotta say, I have been so impressed.
From Main Street to just outside the city center, where the political divide is proudly displayed on neighboring farms. The issues that voters care about here are both unique to Central Washington, but also universal across the 8th District.
Biggest issues are just the issues that are true with everybody. So clean water, clean air, people safe, good schools, having a good life.
From a Republican side, gun control is a big issue here.
Taxes, mainly taxes.
I'm a retired physician.
For Don Solberg, it's all about health care.
Kind of a middle-of-the-roader person and vote both ways frequently, but in my heart on this issue alone, I think there's a huge differentiation between the two.
While supporters of Dr. Schrier believe they have a chance to flip the 8th from red to blue for the first time in the district's history,
I think people are ready to see a change in Washington, D.C., and we have the opportunity to be one of those districts that could change that.
I think Dino has a stronger challenger than Dave Reichert ever had, and so I think it's going to mobilize people.
Republicans in Kittitas County say not so fast.
I really think we're going to hold it.
Right now, it's anyone's guess in the final leg of one of the country's most competitive congressional races this year.
Is likely to be a very, very close race.
And now is the time when the campaigns and the parties are going to ramp up the activity even more, because Election Day is around the corner and ballots are actually in your mailbox or about to be. That means the voting period is about to begin. Election Day, when ballots are due, November 6th. In Ellensburg, I'm Natalie Brand, King 5 News.